Okay, as promised, here is the answer to problem number 3. A z-score of negative 2.19 is a little bit to the left of negative 2. Shading to the left, you look that up on the table and you should get 0.0143. I'm going to jump over to StatCrunch and show you that we can do this on StatCrunch as well. So you open StatCrunch, hover over statistics, go to calculators, and we're going to go down to normal because this is a normal distribution curve. You can actually do, when you click normal, the one that pops up, it's automatically filled in to be the standard curve. The standard curve has a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. You do not have to do the standard curve here. You can type in the mean of the situation, which I think is what we do in section 5.2 a few videos from now. But it automatically comes up to be the standard normal distribution curve. So if you're going to go back and do each one of these, you get to put in what information you have, and it will give you whatever you need. So here is going to be where you put in your z-score. Now they call it an x, and the reason that they call it an x instead of a z is because, notice they even have it x right here, because all a z-table is or all a z-curve is just the same thing as an x-curve with just a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. So yes, they use x. Yes, you just have to be okay with that. Know that as soon as you put 0 and 1 right there, that x becomes a z. Okay, so if you know the z-score, then you put that in right here. And so like that first problem that we did, they gave us a z-score of 1.15. So notice as soon as we take something away, the problem goes away. Everything that we're doing so far has been to the left of the z-score. That's what they wanted, the cumulative area that's to the left. I'm sure I said this before. The table that we use, that I showed you how to use, only gives you values to the left. This one will do both. It'll do left, right, and it'll also do in between. But here is the z value that they gave me on problem number 1. We compute it and we see that it gets us 0.8749, and that's exactly what we got right here, 8749. Okay, so they show you, not only does StatCrunch show you what the cumulative area is, but it also shows you what should be shaded. So here's problem number 2. Problem number 2 was a z-score of negative 0.24, and I guess if you want to, you could do 0.24. I'm too lazy to put the 0 in there. You put the z-score right here, you press compute, and it gives you the answer of, wait, that doesn't come out to be right. I wonder if I did it wrong on the, because that didn't come out to be right. Oh, the one I'm looking at, sorry. I did do it right up there. The one I'm looking at, I moved my decimal. So, hold on before I mess everybody up. Well, maybe that's the only one that's wrong. So I think I just switched the two numbers when I wrote it down. It's 0.4052. Yeah, my dyslexia just kicked in. Okay, so this one, did I get it right then? 0.405. Now, we wrote down 2. This says 5.1, but if you'll look to the left, if you look to the right of the 1, there's a 6. So if we were to use our rounding rules here, let me get my pen. Let me change color because that might be too confusing. Okay. If you look here, I was rounding to 4 decimal places. Here's the 4th decimal place right there. So you look 1 unit to the right. That 6 is a number that's bigger than 5. So this right here rounds up to be a 2. So 0.4052 is what we wrote down on our paper, and that's the same thing that this gave us. Okay. And then, of course, for problem number 3, the z value was given as negative 2.19. And we press compute, and they show negative 2.19 is over here. There's not very much area. So the probability that the x value is less than or equal to negative 2.19, the answer is 0.0143. 0.0143, and that's what we had written down over here. So here they find the cumulative area. So this is again the same thing. Just another problem. Find the cumulative area. So if I'm going to continue to use StatCrunch, I'm just going to go here and type in the z-score of 2.17 and press compute, and then go back and shade that in. So you go back over here and say, here we go, 2.17 is here. We're going to shade all this over here. I don't want to color all that in. And we'd say there's an area of 0.9850. That's a lot of it is shaded in. Most of it is shaded in. 0.98, remember what's the area under the entire curve? The area is 1. So the fact that we're dealing with 0.985 means almost the whole curve is shaded in. Don't forget, they're going to change the way they ask you at the end of the section, and they're going to say, find the probability that the z is less than or equal to 2.17, which is exactly what we see on StatCrunch, except they have an x there instead of a z, and we would put 0.9850. Now, notice that the question changes. Now they say find the area under the standard normal curve to the right of z.106. So we still go to 1. 0.06 is going to be just a smidge beyond the 1. Okay, and this time they said find the area to the right. If you use the z-table, which I don't even have it open right now, I'll have to open it, but if you use the z-table and you look up 1.06, the z-table is going to give you this area. And I will show you, I'll pull it up in just a second. But this is what the area is to the left, and that's all the z-table will give you is area to the left. Now they want to know what's the area to the right. So you can use this. Now remember, I got this number off the table. I'll show you in just a second. This is off the table. This is off the z-table. Okay, off the z-table. That number comes right there, but that's not what I want. I want to know what the area over here is. So you can still use the z-chart. You can still use that one. You just have to define this area. You just say 1 minus 0.8554. Okay, and then that comes out to be 0.1446. So if you use the z-table and look up the area of 1.06, remember it's going to tell you the area to the left. So you can use the area to the left, but just don't give that to me as the answer. Just be sure you say 1 minus the area to the left in order to find the area to the right. So that answer would be 1.446. Yes, StatCrunch will do the area to the right. The only thing you have to do is change this to say greater than, and then type in the new z-score, which is 1.06. I changed it to be greater than. Greater than means the area to the right. I typed in my z-score, my given z-score, and it shows the area shaded to the right, and it's the exact same thing that I just wrote down, 0.144. That says 5. The 7 causes me to change the 5 to a 6. And that's what I wrote down right there. So your area to the right of z equals 1.06 is 0.1446. The probability that the z-score is greater than or equal to 1.06 is 0.1446. Like I said, they ask the same question. It doesn't matter whether they ask you to find the area or whether they ask you to find the probability. It's the same question. You do the exact same thing. Find the area under the standard number curve to the right of negative 2.16. So negative 2.16. 2.16 is going to be right here-ish. The area to the left, I wonder if that highlighter will help me. You know what I need? I need one of those fill buttons. That's what I need. Oh yeah, that lets me highlight. There we go. That's a little bit too much, but anyway, I can use my eraser now and clean it up. Doesn't like the eraser. Okay, so I'm not going to waste your time with that. So find the area. Okay, so using StatCrunch, because I don't have my z-table open right now. Whoops, I clicked the wrong button. Using StatCrunch, I'm going to go, I'm still got it clicked on for the right, and the z-score was, that given z-score was negative 2.16. So I compute it, and there it is, shaded all that. We expected a very high number, 0.9846. Remember, this 0.9846 is not going to be the answer that you get. When you look it up on the z-table, you're going to get the number that's over here, and the number that's over here, when you look up negative 2.16, the area that's over here is going to be 0.0154. This is what you're going to find on the table. This is going to be from your z-table. You're going to get that number. So where does this number come from? You do 1 minus 0.0154, and you get 0.9846. And there may be a little bit of a rounding error sometimes when you subtract, but again, it's going to be this 4th decimal place value over here, and that'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording before I move on to the next one, but that's pretty much it. I've shown you how to use the table. I've shown you how to use StatCrunch. So the next one that we'll tackle right here is the between.